All right, welcome back, everybody, for a new episode of Chasing Ghosts. This is the video series where I talk about those hard to find, those impossible to find comics, those books that's going to take you a little bit of legwork. You're going to have to do a little bit of research, hope to get lucky, find some of these tough, hard to find, rare type comic books. Not all of them might be ghosts. Some might just be hard to find. Some might just be hard to find and expensive. But I have a lot of fun just going through some of these tougher books, and we just take a deeper dive into them and see what's out there for everybody if anybody's interested. Hopefully you still like this series as well as everything else here on the channel. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Please like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel and get some more subs. We are getting so close to 2,000 subscribers, and then we will do another big giveaway once we hit that milestone. And speaking of giveaways, we have one going on right now today. So let's get into it right here at the start of the show. Last week, I asked you if you wanted to enter, just tell me what book is the ghost that you were chasing. What ghost are you chasing out there? I got plenty of responses, got over 40 entries, and I'm going to run this little giveaway here. And we have two prizes again. It's not a runner-up this time. Remember, I told you, this is basically going to be two prizes. So the first one we're going to run is going to be a book that I covered here on this show before. There's probably less than 500 copies of this 1 in 25 incentive, or is it 1 in 25 or 1 in 20? But irregardless, it's still a very low printed book. This Wonder Woman Meets Bionic Woman 1977 Virgin incentive issue is going to be the first prize, and then the second prize is this 1 in 25 Secret Wars Emperor God Doom cover for issue, what is it, 8? I just like this cover, and it's getting a little pricier these days. This is hitting also like 30 bucks. So yeah, it's a nice little prize that I'm going to give out to you guys. I found a couple of these. I had like 2 or 3 of them, so I can get rid of one of these extra ones and make it a prize for you guys. So with that, let's get this wheel going. Once again, there's going to be 2 prizes for this. Let me switch on my screens so we have our little Chasing Ghost prize to go. I'm going to put myself on the smaller side for this so you guys can see here. Everybody who entered, I've also put the book that you were hunting, if you put a book in there. Members, also, check out the membership. See if you're interested in joining for little special things. Got a t-shirt going out to you. To all members going out pretty soon once I get other things in there. The S tier are going to get a little bit extra thrown in with their products, and we're going to be doing more fun stuff for the members as we finish up the summer. It's still kind of new to us. I got a lot going on. I'm going on vacation next week, so we will really nail down a lot more of the membership incentives once I come back from vacation. So keep an eye out for more of that. Again, check it out if you're interested. No pressure. You're still going to get all the content here for free, but there is going to be extras for those members. And you can say those members automatically entered into all my giveaways now, so they're all in here as well as everybody else who decided to enter by giving me their picks. So as you can see, I got all these names here. Hopefully you saw your name. If you did, I'm going to shuffle this a few times. Shuffle. I'm going to keep clicking a shuffle. Yeah, 41 entries on this one. And we're going to go full screen for the spin. And this is going to be for the Wonder Woman book first. We're going to do the Wonder Woman book first for the first prize. A book that was covered on this show not that long ago. And let's see who this is going to be. Running the wheel. Not wasting any time. Our winner is... You're going to get mad because he is not only a member, but he is on this show. But Jedi Johnson 20... Hey, you saw it. I ran the wheel. I'm not going to redo it. Jedi won. Jedi is a paid member, even though he is also a content creator on this channel. Jedi won. I'm sorry if that upsets you guys, but hey, that's going to Jedi. I'm not redoing it. That's also why I decided to do 2. So Jedi can get that book, but somebody else could get this one here. I'm going to see. I'm going to click remove. So we're going to remove Jedi from the list. We're going to exit full screen so you can see still got everybody's name in here. We're going to shuffle up again just because I want to make sure everything's all copacetic. Click shuffle a few more times. Go to full screen, and we're going to run it a second time for the Secret Wars 1 in 25. And see what happens. Hey, sometimes it pays to be a member. I'm just saying. Running the wheel again. Let's see who's going to be our second prize winner. Our second winner, it is Chris Klaus with that Illyria #4 Frizzen. That is a tough book, and that is a really nice cover. Illyria was it the alter ego of can't remember the girl's name on Angel, right? So I think this went back to those Buffy Angel run. That Frizzen book, definitely a nice cover. Chris Klaus, if I'm saying your name properly, hit me up on IG with a direct message, or if you don't have IG and you need the email address, just hit me up in the comments below on this video, and I'll get the email address over to you, because I don't check the email address all the time, so I don't want you sending your address and stuff without letting me know that you sent an email, because otherwise I might miss it, and then you'll take forever to get your book. But this Doctor Doom book is yours. Here, let me switch it back to this view so you guys can see. Chris, this one is yours. Put that out in the mail for you as soon as I get it. And again, just be mad, but Jedi won this one. Congrats to our winners. We're going to do more giveaways and have some more fun doing stuff, because I still got books. I still got books that Joe's Dueling gave me some Star Wars books to give away, and I've been trying to give them away, but we just haven't. It gets lost in the shuffle in the Star Wars show, so I'm probably going to have to do it something separate. I'm going to do like a Star Wars special on one of these shows, and we'll just give away some of those books that Joe gave me to give away to you guys. So once again, giving back to the community, whatever that comic karma stuff. I don't know. I'm just having fun. I just like giving away books. So hopefully you guys enjoy that as well. So that was our prize. Those were our 2 prizes for this week. Thank you all for entering. Thank you all for your suggestions. I'm going to take some of them, put them on my to-do list, because some of them are some really tough to find books. And with that, we are going to get back to our regularly scheduled programming and get back to the books. So if you want to see what books I have to cover for you this week, just hang for a few seconds after the intro, and I will be right back. All right, so now that the giveaway is out of the way, let's get into this week's selection of books and see if we have just some hard to find books, or if we have some actual legit ghosts to cover. Gonna start us off with just some comics that I'm gonna just say it right off the bat. They're not gonna be ghosts, but I still wanted to take a look because I was curious. I was curious because I've had these and I gotten rid of all the copies that I did have, and that is all new Wolverine #1. This is the cargo hold variant. There's a black and white version, and there is a color version of this. J. Scott Campbell. This is cargo hold. This is a store variant. I know we don't cover a lot of store variants here, but some of them could be tough to find. I don't have the print run numbers on these. This came out in November 2015. So I don't know how many were actually printed of this, but I will tell you, you can still get these. More on that in a second. In the census, we do have, for the colored version, the color cover, 525 are in the CGC census. 436 of them are 9/8s, 68 9/6s, and a bunch of others. Over 500 in the CGC census for the color version of the cover. And then we have the sketch cover, which I think might have been less printed, but I also think since it's a sketch, a lot of people don't like sketches as much as the full color version. And I think it's reflected here. 233 copies in the census for this book. Yes, it could have been less printed, but I don't think it was, because I think the site was selling them for equal amounts, and then you can get a discount to buy the pair. And I believe you can still buy them from the source. But that is what we have in the census. What's on the market? Even though, as I said, you can still find them at the source, copies selling online, granted, a couple of these are graded, $26.50 at auction, 160, 130, 160, 250. That's for 9/8 at auction, and then there was a $130 9/6 sale for this the color version, which is my preference. I do like the one that's the full color finished look, because I don't know, I'm just not a sketch guy. I've mentioned that many times before. And asking prices right now, there's plenty. Like I said, there's plenty of these out on the market. $40 raw is the kind of the price for both. And $200 for a 9/8 seems to be the asking price kind of range right now. And like I said, there's plenty of them out there. But like I said, you can go check the source. I believe they still have them for $30 a cover or $50 for the pair. and I believe there's still copies left to be had. So I don't know what the overall print run was. So I'm just going to tell you right off the bat, these ones aren't going to be ghosts, but I still thought it was a cool cover, and I really do like this image. And I might even get myself a set again, just because I just kind of want, maybe not a set, maybe I'll just get the color version because that's the one I like. But I don't know. Just putting it out there because I did want to look into it, because I do remember when this first came out, these, for whatever reason, were hard to find, and they shot up in price. That's why I don't have copies anymore, because I sold mine for a profit, and that's why I'm empty. So maybe it's time to reload. I don't know. That said, or maybe I won't. I don't know, I'll just forget. That said, let's just go to the regular incentive for this book. This is the 1 in 25 for number 1. Again, this is when X-23 became Wolverine. This is David Lopez cover. Again, this is still November 2015. 1 in 25. The regular print run on this book was a healthy 119,000 copies. So 1 in 25 on this is going to leave us with 4,700, almost 4,800 copies potentially for this variant. That's a lot for a variant. A lot for an incentive variant. So I'm not surprised that, well, I'm a little surprised that there's still less of this one. Only 156 in the census, 128 9/8, 25 9/6s, and a few others. But there are a lot of these. Out there. Let's just put that out right out there. But still selling for $60. $60 is the most recent sale that I could find back in June, but $60 raw. And then the asking prices, there are a few out there. $75 raw, and then like a $200 to $300 graded price. Was that $215 for a 9.6, and then $300 for a 9.8 are the asking prices. So it is, even though there's potentially a lot of these out there, they ain't cheap. They're not super cheap, I should say. They're not super duper expensive like some of the books we do cover on this show, but at the same time, we're talking triple ratio still asking prices. That's definitely not cheap. But that's what we got for number 1. So let's move on to number 2. And this is really what I wanted to cover when I was picking books. And I figured, you know what, let's just hit up number 1. So I picked the Campbell because I like the cover, even though I know there's a lot of them. And I picked the Lopez because there's a lot of them, but I still wanted to talk about it while we were here. But number 2 is the one I really wanted to cover. And this is the 1 in 25. This is the first appearance of Gabby inside. So this one became very popular. I've had this book twice. I bought them both raw, submitted them both for grading, got 9.8s on both. And I've cashed in both times because I didn't think it would go up more than it did. I was like, it started hitting like 375, and I'm like, I'm not gonna. Who's gonna? That's it. That's the top. That's the highest it's gonna go. I'm cashing out. So like $300 plus, I'm out. But because I paid significantly less when I did buy my copies. But again, this is another David Lopez incentive, 1 in 25. This actually still also came out November of 2015. That's not a mistake on my part. One came out at the beginning of the month. Issue 2 came out at the end of the month, but they both came out in November. Print run, however, did drop significantly, down to 55,000, but not significantly enough that this is still a healthy 2,200 copies potentially out there. That's not a tiny number, but it is a popular book. There's a second print people want, even the first print people want, because again, there's the first appearance of Gabby, that like little sister type clone character, of which that also got popular there for a while. In the census, there are 294 copies of this in the census, with 183 9/8s. Like I said, I've owned 2 of them. And sold them both, 74 9/6s, and then a bunch of others. So almost 300 copies in the census. And this thing still sells pretty well. It does. It does better than I would have thought. I thought we were capped out, and I was wrong. Hey, we've all been wrong. We've all made the wrong choice. 250 raw. I mean, best offer, so it's under that. Best offer on $450 for 9.6. So 400 plus on a 9.6, and I sold 9.8s for what I say, like 375, somewhere in that range. So yeah, I left money on the table. Happens. Asking prices. Well, are there any out there? There are, and asking prices are $950 for a 9.8 these days. 9.6 is asking $585. Oh, that's a euro version in the middle, so discount that $200. But that's also kind of the range. If you do see raw ones out there, they are generally asking around like $200 plus for raw copies too. So $200 to $300 raw. So not a cheap book anymore. And yeah, sold it twice, and I probably could have gotten a lot more if I held on to both of them, but I didn't. But we all make those decisions. We all do that every once in a while, right? Not the first guy to sell a book too soon. But that's why I wanted to look at this, because I know this is a popular book, and a lot of people have been looking for this and hunting this book, and there are copies. It's just pretty expensive. With that said, we're going to move on to DC for a second. And we're going to hit up Green Lantern with this pretty cool Scarecrow cover. This is issue 51 from the Blackest Night run. A great run. The Jeff Johns run of Green Lantern was one of my favorites. This book is coming to us from a IG post that I saw from a buddy, Martian Comic Hunter. Check out the link below. I think he has a little channel here on YouTube as well. But Martian Comic Hunter posted about this just this week, and I said, you know what? I like this book. I was going to be talking about another book kind of in this run already, so I'm going to add this one to the pile. So I added it to the pile. This is a 1 in 25. This is a Greg Horn cover, by the way, from June of 2010. Yeah, Greg Horn. It's not like a sexy lady. Interesting, right? Different take for him. Big print run though, 95,000. As I said, that Jeff Johns run was popping. So this incentive also potentially has 3,800 copies. We're talking about some highly printed incentives so far this week, aren't we? But these books, just because there's a lot of them potentially out there, doesn't mean they're out there on the market. But let's see. Let's actually take a look and see. Graded wise, there's only 44. So out of all those copies, only 44 in the census. Interesting. 31 9/8 and then 9 9/6 and a couple others. But definitely a small number. No copies have sold within the last 3 months. So also interesting. But if you want to go shopping for one, can we find any? You actually can. It's like 50 to 60 bucks raw for the most part. And there are more than this out there. So yeah, there's a decent amount of copies out there. They're not super duper cheap, but as I said, it's a pretty healthy print run, so there's a lot of copies. So not too surprised once I dug into the actual numbers, but still not an easy to find book. Just because there's a lot on eBay doesn't mean this is easy to find, because not a lot of people don't buy off of eBay. I use it as a reference for this because it's easy to show. But if you're actually go to shops, this is not a book you're going to see at most shops. So keep that in mind as well. But the book that I wanted to cover is a few issues later from this Green Lantern run, and that is issue 55. Once we shifted over to Brightest Day, and another popular one. This Lobo cover I know is on a lot of people's lists of books that they want. This Doug Mahnke, if I'm saying his name right, 1 in 25 from June of 2010. Awesome cover. I do not have this one. I've never owned this one. Healthy print run too, 85,000. So the incentive is maybe 3,400. So a decent amount of copies potentially out there as well. There are 92 on the census, and one of them is a 9.9. Don't see that very often. 55 9/8, 23 9/6, a few others, but there is a 9.9 of this book out there. So good on whoever has that one. Probably can get a decent return if they decided to sell it. Because look at the prices on this. Raw, 200 bucks out of Canada. Raw, 160 best offer. Raw, $181 also raw. All these sales were back in June, and these were the most recent sales that I could find. So June, there were a few. Now, what do we got on there? There are more out there. If you want to go shopping, there actually still are, but they're still expensive. $250 raw, $465 for a 9.6, $675 for a 9.8, and there's more copies than this out there. So it's not easy to find, and it's pretty darn expensive. But that happens. I mean, that's going to be the case for some of these books. There are going to be copies available. They might be hard to find again on the regular. Like if you go to your shop, you're not seeing it on the wall, but there are copies available if you want to pay those online prices. And in this case, the online prices are pretty darn high. I like it, but I don't like it for these prices. I'm not buying in at this. I don't like it that much. But that all said, I said, you know what? Covering this book, it's a good time to talk about Lobo. Let's talk about the Lobo that everybody hates. Let's talk about the rebooted emo skinny Lobo from what year was this? This was this is the new 52 Lobo. So this has been 2014. Yeah. So this Ben Oliver cover, I like Ben Oliver. Pretty cool cover here, and this is a 1 in 25. But October 2014 for everybody's hated Lobo. Like nobody liked this change. Nobody liked this change from the main man, but they did it anyway. 39,000 print run on this, and that would make the incentive only about 1,500, which is the lowest of what we've done so far today. But what do we got in the census? Only three with 198, a 94, and a 92. Because not a lot of people sub in this book because again, a lot of people don't like it. So much so that no one has bought one in the last 3 months. But are there any copies available of this? 1,500 on a title nobody wanted? The incentive on a cover nobody wanted? Are there any out there? Well, there are. And not only that, they're really darn cheap. $10, $7. Then there's a lot of 1, 2, 3 of the variants for almost 60, and then $9. But yeah, $7 to $10 for this 1 in 25. This is out there and it's cheap. So yeah, if you're interested, you can get this for $7 or so. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad. And like I said, you can see that one has a lot of 1, 2, and 3. And as you might guess, we're gonna look at 1, 2, and 3. So let's move on to number 2. And this was a Ben Oliver cover. Solid artist. I like Ben Oliver. I think that's pretty cool. And you know what? They had a nice artist on the second cover too. This is a Bill Sienkiewicz cover from November 2015. Also 1 in 25. And it's not bad. It's not a bad cover. I know it's got a little bit of that lens flare there on the face, makes it a little harder to read. Makes me feel like I'm looking at more of a Punisher type cover than Lobo, but yeah, it is what it is. Print run dipped down to 25,000, so the incentive on this one's only about 1,000. So significantly less, like 50% less, because the other one was like 1,500. Well, I guess that's right. Yeah. Anyway, there are no copies of this in the census. So there's only 3 of number 1. Nobody subbed this book. How could nobody have subbed this book? That's odd to me. But hey, there's none out there. There's none out there. And speaking of which, there's none sold because nobody's buying this book. Just like the last one, the number 1. And there are, well, we know there's at least one because that listing had 1, 2, and 3. There's only 2 copies out there. 2. That lot of 1, 2, and 3. And then 1 single issue for $14.50, and then with the shipping, it's still like $20. It's still under ratio for the single issue, and then all 3 are, under ratio if you pile them together, and then free shipping, and they take an offer, so you can get those at a discount, probably almost like a buy 2 get 1 free kind of package deal if you wanted. But considering how cheap issue 1 was, it might be cheaper to just buy these individually. But whatever. Let's just get to number 3. Let's just get this over with because just nobody liked this Lobo. But I still wanted to look at these books because I thought these might be tougher to find than they actually seem to be so far. This is a Francis Manipool on this one here. December of 2014, 1 in 25. Yeah, interesting little take. I like the other 2 covers maybe a little bit more, but not too bad. Print run dips though. This is down to 20,000, so the incentive is now under 1,000 at 800 or so. So significantly less copies than issue 3. And just like the last one, there are none in the census. Nobody submitted this book for grading. But we did have a sale. $45 back in May. Surprisingly for this one. $45 is surprising considering issue 1 and even issue 2 prices. But for whatever reason, now if you want one, you can get it for $14.50 or $36. Or there's still that lot of 3 that's available. So 3 options for you for issue 3. So it is what it is. Not impossible to find, but I just wanted to check it out, this DC Lobo, the revamped Lobo. And like I said, they got rid of them. Well, they got rid of them. So what are you going to do? It'll be a little footnote in time. Everybody will remember, like, this wasn't Lobo, was it? Yeah, it was. For a time, that was Lobo. With that, let's move on to our next book. Let's shift away from Marvel. Let's shift away from DC for a second. And I was looking over at Cover Price, and they had this one on their market watch list or something. I think it was. I don't know, but go check out Cover Price. Matt DeVoe I think he's still writing over. I don't know if he still does CBSI, but used to be a writer over at CBSI. Good guy over on Cover Price, and they had a list of some books, and I did notice this one there, and I said, you know what? I want to take a look at this one. And this is the actual, it says DuckTales. So you're going to think, oh, it's a DuckTales book. But this is not actually DuckTales. This is Uncle Scrooge. I think it's issue 392, if I'm not mistaken. Amy Memberson is the artist on this. June 2010, San Diego Comic-Con edition. So it was supposedly limited to 500, I think, this issue. So only 500 copies of this DuckTales book. So in the write-up, they're mentioning the video game, the 8-bit Scrooge that came the year after in 2011, but this came out the year before in 2010, a San Diego exclusive. And I was always a fan of Gizmo Duck, so I do like this cover. And this is not one that you don't see all that often. In the census, though, While those Lobo books had none subbed, we do have three. We got three: a 9.8, a 9.6, and a 9.4, one apiece, and that's it. And we had some sales, but I think some of these sales might have been the same sale. If you look at those top three, and maybe just sales got canceled. But 250 on two bids, 250, 250 on one bid, and then one sold for 380 before that. Over the last 3 months, these are the sales I could find: 250 to $380, basically. And with that, there are none available right now for purchase. So take that also for what it's worth. But still a cool book, and one to keep an eye out for, because it may not come up very often, but like Gizmo Duck, like I do, I'm going to look for it, but I can't pay those prices. I got to hope to look into something for much cheaper. But what do we got next? I'm going to go on over to Transformers More Than Meets the Eye. I got a couple of More Than Meets the Eye Transformer books for you here. But we're going to start with this one, which is actually another convention exclusive, because this one I saw posted on IG and it caught my eye. This was Triple C1. Another friend, I know, a viewer of this show, also has a channel. Go check out the links down below. But follow both Martian Comic Hunter and Triple C's IGs, because they post some really tough to find books. And I will admit, this is where I get some of my content ideas, because I look at what these guys are buying and I go, you know what? That is a tough book. I don't have that one. Let's dig into it and see if there are any out there. So go check out their IGs and give them a follow. And this one, Texas Con edition for this Transformer. What is this, issue 43? Casey Kohler did the cover. 2015 Texas Comic Con edition. I like the classic look. Like, this is classic Megatron Optimus head to head. I like it. I mean, the bottom cityscape is not very detailed, but the two of them on their own, it's a nice image, and I dig it. But with that, I don't know what the print run is on this. There was nothing I could find printed down or listed for a print run. It's probably going to be a few hundred copies at best, maybe 500. I'm just guessing. That's just guessing, just like the San Diego book. But I honestly have no idea. Couldn't find a solid number to report to you guys. I will say, though, that there were none in the census. So no submitted copies yet. And we did have one sale, and it was for only $30. I'd pay 30 for this. So I'd be a buyer at that price. So $30 sale, August 2nd. And if you want to go buy this, well, good luck, because right now there are none out there. So Triple C showing off. This one's not out there for us to go buy. But somebody did get one for $30. So good on them. So that's our first one. And I was like, you know what? There's a lot of Transformers, and there are a lot more than what I'm going to show you. There are a lot of 1 in 10 incentives in this run, like a lot. Almost every issue, I think, had one. And some will be tougher to find than others. Some will be more expensive than others. But I only picked a few just to kind of, give us some examples. And the first one is going to be this issue, issue 12, which is the Sergeant Pepper's homage. So this one's jam-packed with characters, as you can see. This is, I think, another Casey Kohler cover. This was from December of 2012. This is the 1 in 10 incentive. And like I said, it's an homage to Sergeant Pepper. So pretty cool, right? Estimated print run of about 10,000. So that will make our 1 in 10 about 1,000 copies. Decent number for one of these Transformers books. I would have thought it would have been a little bit less, but all right, 1,000 copies. Not terribly, not like a lot, but it's more than I would have expected. There's only 7 copies in the census, with only 2 9/8s and then a bunch of other grades. So only 2 9/8s out of those 7. So that's definitely not a lot there. None have sold recently either on this particular book, this 1 in 10 from the More Than Meets the Eye run from Transformers IDW. And there are a couple out there, though. Three copies out there, all raw, $200 to $300. So this is out there. It's just expensive. And again, not a lot of copies out there. Still only 3. Let's keep that in context. There's still only 3 copies on the market right now, and it's just expensive. So hard to find and expensive. But if you want this one, you can get one of those 3. You just got to pay. You just got to pay for it. Pay up. I'm not going to, though. That's just out of my range for this book. But let's take a look at our next one. Let's jump from issue 12 over to issue 19. I kind of like this one. This is the Ultra Magnus head, I believe. There, just sitting there. Pretty cool. Retailer incentive, issue 19, IDW, More Than Meets the Eye. This is a Nick Roche cover from July 2013. Print run on this was only about 9,300, so there's only about 932 copies of this one. Again, doing our best guess math on the incentives. In the census, we do have 7, just like the last book, but 5 of these are 9/8s and then 2 9/0s. Odd, but 7 in the census for this book. And we did have a sale. We did have a sale within the last 3 months. One sale, and let me tell you, it did not sell for very cheap. $560. $560 on 2 bids. This is actually put up at auction. This must have had a very high start price. And then somebody still said, you know what, I'm firing back. And 560 for 1 in 10. This, whew, that's a price. That's a price. But can't call it a crazy price because, well, that person got the book. And if any of the rest of us want one, well, there's none out there for us to buy. So maybe it was a good deal. I don't know. But 560 and none available. So keep that in context as well. I got one more for us, one more to cover. Transformers More Than Meets the Eye. And as I said, like I think all of these had 1 in 10. So I figured, you know what? Let's jump all the way to the end. Let's jump all the way to the end and look at the last book in the run. Revolution is coming, issue 57. This is the 1 in 10 incentive for issue 57, the final issue of the run. This was an Alex Milne, if I'm saying the name right. September 2016, 1 in 10. I kind of like it. I mean, it's a newer style. Megatron looks like I got Rodimus Prime back there, and some others. I can't make out everybody because they're kind of newer looks. But anyway, still pretty cool Megatron. This one, print run at the end of the run, down to 4,700 for the regular. So there's only potentially 479 copies for this 1 in 10. The final issue. I like final issues. I like incentives on final issues. And there were none in the census. None in the census for this one. And mind you, as I was making the deck, there were none sold at the time of when I started to do this. I made the materials over the weekend, and I'm filming this on Monday. And at the time, there were none there. And the only available copy out there was this lot that had the 1 in 10 and the A and B cover for $50. So what was there when I did the materials? We could say in my normal style, I'm getting ahead of myself here with this because I need to explain. There's only one, so I would have called this and put this on the ghost side of things because there was one available. But if you guys go and look now, there's none available because I told you, sometimes I do the research, I end up buying this stuff. So I bought this. I bought this yesterday. There's, again, $50 best offer. I made an offer. I think I offered $40 and it's free ship or $40, $5 ship. Anyway, $40. I kind of wanted this. I thought it was kind of cool. And I said, you know what? It's just for me. I'm not reselling it. It's not like I'm going to try to invest and make money telling you guys about a book and then saying, hey, look, and I got it on Whatnot and I'm going to try to sell it to you. I may do a Whatnot soon, but you know how I do, how I roll. I'm telling you, I bought this for myself. This one I saw doing the research. I thought it was cool, tough to find. Figured, you know what? I'm going to go get this because it's at a price. I had the money, so I figured I'd get it. So I bought this. So there was one sold, and it was sold to me. But now there's none out there. Sorry. I did the research. I saw it first, so it's mine. And with that, when we look at all the books, there was a lot of these that had multiple copies. So there's a lot of hard to find. The all new Wolverines, all of them, the 2 Green Lanterns, all the Lobos, and even one of those Transformers that Sergeant Pepper had 3 copies out there. So these we'll just say are hard to find. Some are hard to find and expensive. Some are just hard to find, and there's cheap as hell, like the Lobos. But these, what is that, 10? These 10 we'll call hard to find. Whereas these other 4, the 4 leftovers, the Uncle Scrooge 392, the More Than Meets the Eye Texas book, the More Than Meets the Eye 19 incentive, and that 57 final issue incentive. Even though I bought the one that was out there, there was still only one at the time when I bought it. Now there's none. So sorry, I bought it. But we'll call these ones now ghosts. Hey, I told you, I'm chasing these ghosts too. So I saw it, I wanted it, so I bought it. So sorry, you should have looked at this first. But anyway, hopefully you still enjoy this series. Thanks for stopping by and checking this out. Hopefully I don't bother you too much with the fact that I'm telling you that I bought one of the books that I was talking about, but I'm honest. I'm just being honest. I'm going to tell you when I buy stuff. You guys know I believe in being open and honest as far as doing this stuff. I'm not trying to get anything over on you. I'm not trying to sell you anything. Not really. I mean, if you want to check out the membership to join up, go ahead. No pressure. Don't have to. If you want to check out any of the merchandise and buy a t-shirt, go ahead. Have fun making them. I buy them for myself. I like wearing these types of things. But other than that, you don't have to. No pressure. And like I said, I might do a Whatnot soon just because I need to get rid of some books. But I'm not here to pump and dump anything for you. I'm just telling you about the books that I'm buying and what I like. And sometimes I like too many books and I buy too many books, which is the only reason why I got to get rid of some of them. Because my wife kind of told me I got to get rid of some of this stuff, so I do. Even if she hasn't been really hard on me to do so, I can see it in her eyes. She's getting tired of this, so got to be considerate, clear some space. So with that, hopefully you guys are still enjoying this. Hope you're still on board. Congrats to our winners, Jedi and to Chris. And again, I'll get those books out, and we'll do more. We'll do some more giveaways soon, and have some more fun as we keep marching on our way to 2K. We are almost there. Just get your friends, get a few more people to sign up, subscribe to the channel, and we will get there and do another big giveaway. Don't know what's going to be in that big giveaway yet, but trust me, it'll be worth your time because it's going to cost you nothing, right? And with that, I'll see you guys later, all right?